Hello and welcome back to the NUFC Opinion blog for a new series on the channel looking at NUFC nostalgia. So each week we'll be picking a specific moment from either the week or day of the video upload, looking at a bit of background to the incident, of course the history itself, and the follow-up from the event. So to jump straight into things, today we're going to be casting our minds back to the 1st of March 2014, where Newcastle played Hull away. Of course, it resulted in a 4-1 win for Newcastle, with Moussa Sissoko scoring twice, Loic Remy and Vernon Anita adding for Newcastle. However, the game won't be remembered for the scoreline. However, the resulting incident between Alan Pardew and David Meyler. Now, David Meyler for Hull City went to take a throw-in, went to push past Pardew to pick up the ball. However, Pardew, clearly angered by this incident, put his head in for a headbutt, and that is what will be remembered from the game. Now, Pardew was very apologetic afterwards, and of course it was a stupid incident. However, he did face a £100,000 fine from Newcastle United, whilst also getting a £70,000 fine from the FA and a 7-game ban. Now, the win for Newcastle was the first over Hull in 24 years, and incidentally, Steve Bruce was the manager of Hull at the time. Now, after the game, Bruce understood Pardew's apology, however, didn't accept it necessarily. Of course, not many fans thought it was a great thing that happened, and of course, it caused a lot of embarrassment for Pardew and for Newcastle United, with them saying that the actions were not behaviour that Newcastle expected from the manager after the game in a press release. However, that wasn't the first incident that Alan Pardew was involved in. Of course, in a 2-1 win over Tottenham in 2012, he pushed over the assistant referee and got a 2-game ban. He verbally abused Manuel Pellegrini in 2014 in the January of that year, who managed Manchester City at the time. So, of course, it was a series of events for Pardew as Newcastle manager, which somewhat overlooked his career at Newcastle. Now, in the season of 2012, Pardew had a very good season, of course, qualifying for the Europa League. And some of these incidents maybe put a black mark on his time at Newcastle United. However, this day in particular was probably his worst day in his managerial career for the incident. Now, moving on from Pardew's time at Newcastle United, he's now the current technical director at CSKA Sofia after managing Crystal Palace, West Brom and Den Haag in the Netherlands. And he left Newcastle in the end of the 2014 season in December. However, the month before, in November, he did win Manager of the Month, but Steve Warnock's sacking at Crystal Palace did swing his opinion. And Bruce would go on to manage Hull City until July 2016. And of course, at the time, he claimed that Hull were not giving him the money he wanted for the transfers he so wished. However, he was also interviewed by the FA just a few days before his sacking or resignation at Hull for the England job at the time. And since then, of course, he's came to manage us amongst other teams. Now, back to the incident, just a bit of personal reflection on this. Of course, it was a very good day for Newcastle, a good win. They won the game before, I believe, against Aston Villa. However, it's not something you want to see from any manager. And of course, it's a bit of an embarrassment when it's your own manager. And Pardew, although he did have some good times at Newcastle, I think he left on pretty sour terms, especially towards the end of that 2013-14 season. There was a bit of unrest from the fans and a bit of disappointment in the club at maybe some of the runs he'd gone on, and at the start of the following season, the form continued, and in the first few months of the season, we looked pretty poor. Of course, as I mentioned, November picked up a little bit when he won the Manager of the Month, but his incident, of course, is a big one in Newcastle's career and a big one in Pardew's career, and one we'd perhaps hope to forget and hope that didn't happen. That's all that I've got to say on this incident. If any of you have any interest or opinions on this incident, please get in touch with the usual social links. And that leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, and how are the lads?